Yo, what up guys, it's Tujin here. Today I'm going to be doing my quick short-term review of this new heads-up display I got from AliExpress for my Tesla Model Y. So let's get right into it. So I got a 8.9-inch display, heads-up display for my Model Y for about 300 bucks from AliExpress. It actually replaces, let's see if I can find it here, this guy right here. So I was running a 4.6-inch heads-up display for about a year and a half now. And what really happened is that this guy mounts on the steering wheel column. And what sucks about that is that when the car goes into easy entry and then it goes back to your actual driving position, well, that back and forth motion caused the harness over here to basically develop a loose connection. And that would cause my screen to cut in and cut out. So I had two options here. I was like, either I replace the wiring or I look at a new option. And being like, almost 2 years since I got that heads-up display, I figured I'd look into something new. And I settled on this guy right here. So there's a few reasons why I chose this display and a few reasons why I think it's a pretty good display, actually. So just Teslas in general, they're very minimalistic, very simplistic. They have the center screen and then you just have nothing here. And for me, I thought that was really weird coming from a regular car. Having a dash is just something I'm very used to. And especially with like this guy right here where you can easily, speed and whatnot. Looking out the corner of my eye to see what speed I'm at didn't really work well for me. So I was like, before I get into trouble, let me find a solution that's out there. And luckily for us Tesla owners, there's a ton of aftermarket options. And these heads-up displays are one a dozen. So I went for the simplistic approach. I even changed my whole steering wheel for a yoke because it just helped with visibility overall. And it was great until it failed. But I'm glad it failed because it allowed me to try something new. And this guy is wicked because not only is it a bigger screen, it solves a huge problem. The reason why people didn't like bigger screens per se is that they didn't want the ventilation to be blocked. But what's cool is that it mounts into the actual vents and then it redirects the vents under, so you still get that air conditioning right to your face and you're not losing out on that, while still having a pretty nice OEM look. So the other thing that kind of sold me on this display is that, if you look at the bezel, the overall screen, it matches the center tablet really well. And then being a newer screen, when I did buy this, I got no instructions whatsoever, but it uses the same harness as most of these other kits. So this is kind of like a joint harness. It works for AMD and Intel based cars. And what's cool is you just route it down the little dash here. So you take this off, you route it under. There's a port for communication and a port for power. You plug those two in and you're off to the races. When mounting this guy, a lot of people like counting the holes here. What I did was I looked at the cutout for the steering wheel, kind of measured it and eyeballed it, and it worked out, even spacing, and I'm pretty happy with it. Now, being Android Auto and Apple CarPlay compliant, if I go like this, if I say, hey Google, boom shakalaka, here we are. Android Auto is wireless, it syncs to my phone immediately, and then if I just hold on to this cursor right here, it goes back to the default mode. So there's quite a few new things compared to my other screen. What's nice is that there's different themes too. So I went for the most OEM kind of look, but what's nice is that let's say you use autopilot. Let's say you need to touch the steering wheel, right? Because every now and then you have to show that you're, paying attention on the road, and it'll ask you to, touch the steering wheel. And there's usually like a blue indicator here. Well, it pops up on the screen too. But they didn't just stop there. Left and right, blind spots, right? If there's a hazard and it's not safe to merge, it mimics the screen or the blind spot camera over here by still giving you that little red hazard light on whatever side that you're trying to turn to. So I thought that integration was pretty cool too. And then the other cool feature about this is that it actually comes with a front camera. So this is something that you wire up under your bumper. The new Tesla Model Ys actually have this now from the factory. And what's cool is that if you're driving a car with just using Tesla Vision, you'll notice that Tesla Vision isn't the most accurate. I prefer radar myself, but yeah, Tesla Vision is kind of hit or miss. It never really got me to hit anything, but usually when it says ding, 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 you're too close and it shows red on your car, I usually have 1.5 feet to go. And, you know, that's not bad per se, but if you're like downtown and you need to make use of, you know, every inch that you can get to park, it gets a little annoying. So having that extra, you know, that viewpoint from down there actually does help quite a bit. So, you know, it's snowing right now, so I eventually want to install that as well and kind of give an update to this video. And from the installation point of view, you remove 4 screws from the trunk, you unplug the little light there, and then you wire the extension through down there, and then through the little firewall over here, and basically the cable comes here, and then you route it back through the dash through one of the little proprietary plugs that they got there. But yeah, other than that, it's a pretty solid screen. There's no lag. It has a pretty cool settings menu, so there's a lot you can do in terms of adjustments. So they have the 3 themes. They have over-the-air updates using a hotspot off your phone. You can even, it also has speakers built in. And then you can use Bluetooth. The phone link can either be full screen or split screen. It even follows the brightness of your display, the actual tablet. And then there's a day and a night mode. I set it to night because that is the least distracting to me. And then this is also a touchscreen, which is nice. And then it also has a USB-C port and some SD card slot or micro SD card slot on the side as well. But yeah, overall, I pretty much recommend it. I mean, I paid $300 shipped to my house, and I mean, for everything that it's there, I mean, the fit and finish to just the overall feature set that it essentially brings to your car, I think it's pretty worth it. And then the other nice thing, the one thing that I thought was pretty cool is, like, let's say you're driving, you notice how the lights over here, it shows that I have my brake on? I thought that's pretty cool, because there's times where you're driving and you're only relying on regen braking, but there's a certain threshold of regen braking when your actual brakes turn on. It actually lets you know when your brakes are on, whereas on this screen over here, it doesn't when you're driving, or at least I haven't noticed that it does. So, you know, it's just another layer of being aware of what your car is doing, what you're doing. It adds another layer of safety because, again, these cars are pretty fast. It's easy to lose, you know, track of how fast you're going. So having an odometer right in the center is pretty cool. And I think it looks slick. I'm like, you know, for $300, can't really go wrong. That's just my opinion. Let me know what yours is in, you know, the comments down below. But yeah, and I think other companies, like there's like Handshow, there's a bunch of Chinese OEMs that make the same thing. They put a little brand on it and do some slight tweaks. But from what I can see, it seems like it's all from the same factory, and it works pretty much plug and play. So yeah, I'll leave it at that, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.